Today we would like to once again congratulate all selected candidates for the 2015 OAS Grupo Coimbra de Universidades Brasileiras Scholarship Program. I would like to remind you today that all information that you need to make a decision on the scholarship offer that you have received is available on the OAS Gcub platform. I would also like to remind you that the videos that you have just seen and this current video with your live questions will be made available in the platform as well at the end of this week. If you are having any issues with this live broadcast of the questions, you may refresh your screen in order to have the video start all over again. So before we receive some of your questions, I would like to begin with a few frequent questions that we usually receive from our candidates. So with regards to the letter of admission, many people would like to know about when it will arrive, both at their address, their homes, and via email. So basically this will depend on the universities for which you have been selected. Usually the time frame depends on them and the mail system in each country, but the universities are currently working on sending those documents. Now the emails will be sent as soon as possible. The universities in Brazil already have your emails and we expect them to be sending them to you as soon as possible. Another frequent question that we get from our students is with regards to the contact information of the institutional and academic coordinators at the universities. People would like to know how to contact them, the best way to get in touch with them, and further information on them. Well, all this information will be made available in the platform, and we're currently working on that. And we will publish it as soon as the universities in Brazil send it to us. I would like to remind you right now of the platform. This platform is the main channel of communication between the OAS, the Grupo Coimbra de Universidades Brasileiras, and you, the students. If you have any questions, please make sure you make them through the help desk tool on the platform. If you are having any technical issues with the platform, please make your questions and your inquiries through the becasbrasil@oas.org email. That is becasbrasil@oas.org. A third question we have been receiving from you today is which documents you are supposed to bring with you to the university. These documents again will change or vary according to the universities of study in Brazil. So we would like to advise you to get in touch with your coordinators, both institutional and academic, at the university before your trip to Brazil. Make sure you ask them exactly which documents you are required to have and make sure you have them available before your trip to Brazil. Another question we're receiving here is with regards to school assignments. The question is if the assignments have to be made in Portuguese or if they can be written in another official language of the OAS. Please remember that all studies through this scholarship program are for studies in Portuguese. The official language in Brazil is Portuguese. However, students from this scholarship program will be receiving language support at your university in Brazil. So while the studies and the assignments and everything academic will be required to be in Portuguese, you will receive language support at the university. However, remember that some programs will have a few courses or a few requirements in English, but every single requirement from the program, and I'm talking in terms of the academic program, All these requirements must be double-checked with the institutional and academic coordinators. I would like to now remind you once again to send any of your questions or inquiries through the chat. Another question we received is with regards to the visa. So what type of visa do I need to study in Brazil, and what are the requirements? Please remember that you can only come to Brazil with a Type 4 visa. This is a student visa from the government of Brazil, issued to students from the OAS Gcub scholarship program, and of course any other student interested in living in Brazil as a student. In order to have this document, you must approach the Brazilian consulate or embassy nearest to you. In some cases, this office will not be in the country of the student, but in a different neighboring country. Please make sure to find which is the nearest consulate or Brazilian embassy to you. Now, the requirements for this visa are basically the scholarship award letter, notification letter, which you will be receiving very soon. Also, the admission letter from the university, which usually has to be the formal physical letter that you will receive from the university in Brazil. In a few cases, the embassy or consulate might accept the email that you receive from the universities, but generally speaking, you'll be required to submit the physical letter that you will receive via mail. You must also show proof of your health insurance before traveling to Brazil, and in that regard, I would like to remind you that your health insurance must cover international expenses related to transportation of body remains to your country of origin in case of death. Also, it has to be an insurance that covers any situation within the whole territory of Brazil. And it has to be it has to follow the requirements that you can find on our platform. Another question we are getting right now is with regards to housing in Brazil. Any sort of logistical support and additional information in this regard will be given by the university on a case-by-case basis. We cannot guarantee that each university will provide this service. However, most universities do so. Again, we advise you to get in touch with your academic and institutional coordinator with regards to this issue. It is important to know, however, that in most cases in Brazil, on-campus housing will not be available for graduate students. This is not necessarily the case for all universities, but it is, generally speaking, how the situation works in Brazil. Another very similar question has to do with renting or owning housing in Brazil. We are not opposed to either one. However, like I mentioned, undergraduate students usually receive on-campus housing in Brazil and not graduate students. But again, please remember to get in touch with your coordinators to receive further information. Another question we're receiving right now is with regards to family members. What are the requirements and procedures for them to accompany the scholarship recipients, and if there are any benefits related to the scholarship for family members? Of course, you may travel with your families to Brazil. However, this and their trip is completely and solely your responsibility. The OAS and Grupo Coimbra de Universidades Brasileiras, as well as the universities, are not responsible for any expenses for your families, unfortunately. The documents that you will receive for issuing your student visa are for you and you only. So in those cases, we ask you to receive advice from your institutional coordinators to see if there can be any support from the university. But again, your documents will be issued to you and you only. Another question is with regards to Portuguese. The question is if it's necessary to learn Portuguese before arriving to Brazil. We remind you again that all classes are in Portuguese. This is the official language of the scholarship program and of the studies in Brazil. But we do encourage you to, although you will be receiving language support in Brazil, we do encourage you to make use of any available online resources or resources through language training institutions in your country to learn at least the basics of Portuguese. This is very important because you will be traveling to a new country with a new language, and you will need it to interact with people in this country. Another question we are receiving right now is with regards to the cost of living in Brazil. If it will be enough to live with the funding covered by the scholarship. Please remember that the scholarship benefits that you will be receiving are not intended to and do not intend to cover 100% of your expenses in Brazil. It may be the case in a few cities, but it's not guaranteed. We recommend that you familiarize yourself with the living expenses in Brazil. There are many websites where you can find further information on this regard, and you can also ask this and request this information at the Brazilian consulate or embassy in your country or the nearest country. You can also ask these questions to your institutional coordinator in the university. There's also a website which is in Portuguese, but it's a website where you can find the information, and it is www.custodevida.com.br. The link will be available on the chat right now. Another question we are receiving at the moment is with regards to additional financial aid as part of the scholarship, and also financial aid related to the research component of the studies. Please remember that all the benefits of the scholarship are available both on our website and on the platform. And as you can see, the benefits do not cover additional funding for either research or other type of expenses. Also remember that the scholarship cannot be combined with other scholarships. So please keep in mind before accepting the offer or declining it that you must make sure that you have the available resources to cover your expenses that are not covered with the benefits of the scholarship in Brazil. Okay, another question we are receiving is with regards to changing your contact information, your personal contact information. If you have any changes to your personal contact information, whether it's your address, your phone number, your email address, please make sure you do so as soon as possible through the platform. This information is key to making sure that you are being in touch with any representative of the program. If your information is not up to date, it would be impossible for us to contact you and for you to receive notifications or updates on the scholarship. Very well. Another question we are getting from the chat is, what happens with delayed payments? Well, you know, it's important for you to understand that the scholarship benefits will be made available for the students after the end of each month. This means that we require or we advise you to prepare for any expenses you will have in Brazil with at least 1 or 2 months in advance. So make sure you have additional savings for those months before you receive your first payments, because the payments will not arrive as soon as you get to Brazil. They will arrive a month after, or even 2 or 3 months after. However, the payments that you receive for your scholarship will be retroactive. This means you will receive all payments that have to do with your scholarship within the scholarship period. This begins when you register at the university up until 24 months for master's programs and PhD programs up to 48 months. If you finish your studies before that time, the scholarship will end at that point. If you, for some reason, cannot finish your program within that time frame, the scholarship, unfortunately, will not go after that. Another question we have here is with regards to the starting date of the programs in Brazil. And when should students leave their country to arrive in Brazil? We will be, as I said in the beginning, announcing all this information on our platform with regards to starting dates. But we advise you to again get in touch with your institutional coordinator and academic coordinator to figure out what the best timing for your trip would be. We recommend being there at least with 2 weeks in advance so you can make sure you know the city, the university, how to arrive at the university, etc. Another question we received is with regards to the admission letter from the university. The question is, what happens if the amount of money that the letter of admission includes is different from what the announcement had? And which amount will the student receive? Well, the student will be receiving whatever the admission letter includes. Now, this amount of money will never be below what the announcement has offered. This means that in a few cases, the scholarship benefits, the monthly subsistence allowance, might be higher than what was announced in the scholarship announcement. So, however, you will never receive anything below that. Another question we received is with regards to payment dates. If there are specific dates in which the students will receive their benefits. These will vary again from university by university. So we again remind you to get in touch with your coordinators to ask them specific dates for those payments. And again, this is something we cannot guarantee, but usually the payments are done after a month of studies. Another question we received is with regards to the possibility of being a teaching assistant or an advisor at the university. Is it possible for students to do so, for OAS GCUB scholarship recipients to do so? This is possible as long as this activity is not incompatible with your Type 4 visa, with your student visa. And also, if the university gives you, allows you to do so, gives you permission to do so. So, once again, please make sure you have authorization from your coordinators in this regard. However, please remember that this scholarship is given for full-time studies in Brazil. Therefore, we ask you to try to make the use of your time mainly directed and focused on your studies. Another question we are receiving is what are the documents that you should legalize in your country before arriving to Brazil? And I believe this question has to do with the receiving approvals or certifications or translations of documents. We don't have that information per program because it varies. So again, please contact your coordinator for specifics on this regard. Another question we received is if it is possible to pick up the letter of acceptance at the Brazilian embassy. Unfortunately, this is not possible, but again, as I said, the letter will be mailed to you as soon as possible. If you have any changes to your mailing address, please make sure you make those through the platform so we have your most updated information at hand. Another question we received is with regards to declinations. How do I decline the scholarship offer? If you decide not to go ahead with this offer, please make sure you make your declination or acceptance of the scholarship offer as soon as possible. If you decline, you must make this decision before the beginning of the program, the beginning of classes. If you do so, you will not incur in any additional expenses. However, if you decide to decline after classes begin, the OAS, the Grupo Coimbra de Universidades Brasileiras, and the university might require you to reimburse the full or partial amount of any expenses that they have funded on your scholarship. If you decide to decline, you may do so through the platform within the activity called Oferta de Beca or Scholarship Offer, which will give you the option of declining to the offer. If you have any difficulties with this process, you may send your inquiries or questions through the help desk button or tool on the platform. Another question is with regards to the letter of acceptance, the arrival time in which you can expect to receive it. We don't have an estimated time, as I said at the beginning, but you may contact your institutional coordinator to receive further instructions in this regard. The last question we received is with regards to the deadline to accept the scholarship offer. This will be until December 2nd of the current year. So basically, you have until this week, this December 2nd, on Wednesday, to accept your offer or decline it. Well, you may decline it before you begin your classes in order not to have any financial difficulties, but you may decline if you want to. Please decline as soon as possible so we can offer the scholarship to someone else. And I believe those are all the questions we received. Thank you very much for joining us today. We will, as I said at the beginning, we will make all these videos available on our platform at the end of this week. If you have any further questions, remember to send them through the OAS Gcub platform, through the help desk. And once again, congratulations on being selected for this very prestigious award, and we wish you the best success in Brazil. Thank you very much.